between the sheets. And boom, boom, boom. We are live, people. We are live. So, all right, as you guys are coming in, let me know that you can hear me and see me. We will be premiering my interview with DJ Richie Skye shortly here in just a second. Just want to make sure everything is okay on the sound and we're going to get started. I know everybody will pour in as time goes on. It takes a little bit. We got Tasha Nicole, Caramel Cutie, Kite. All right. I don't know why connection was a little funky there, but we're going to make it work. All right. So as soon as I get a sound check, we here to go. So let's see. I think it might be frozen on my end. There we go. Let's see. Let me double check. I think we are about ready to go here. Okay, there we go. People coming in now. I don't know why the algorithm didn't want to really send this video out for real. It's weird. Anyway, this is the first episode of YouTube Unfiltered, all right, where I interview your favorite YouTuber. We learn more about them, their likes, their dislikes, some of the things they've been through in their life, and hopefully by the end of the episode, you know your YouTuber on a bit of a more of a personal basis, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and play the interview. We're gonna get started right now, and I will come in after the interview to get your thoughts. And of course, as the interview is playing, let me know who you will want me to interview next. Must be like a YouTuber though, but let me know who next. All right, let's play. All righty, DJ Richie Skye, how are you doing, my man?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Let me just say that. Let me say it like that. I was gonna say it's doing great, but blessed and highly favored seems to be the way to go.
I love that. I always love how positive you are. I have been a big fan for the longest. Believe it or not, I think you used to see me like pop in your chat and stuff, and then I was like, well, I don't want him to think I'm trying to bite off him, so let me back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of talk about the same stuff a little bit.
But you know what? I don't even think like that, Storm. I don't. I feel like in this space, we can all show love to whoever, however we want to do it and however we want to show up. Sometimes I might run across something somebody else is doing and I'll drop in and give them a super chat or something like that. But I feel like when we do that, it shows the audience that there can be a camaraderie in this space.
Yes. And I truly believe that there can be one. I know we see so much messy stuff. And you see people get together and they fall out and it's like the same old story again and again. But I do truly believe that there can be a camaraderie. And I want to keep hope alive that Black people can actually work together. I want to keep that hope alive. Seriously. So first off, you were in Bali, right?
I was in Greece.
My bad. I'm thinking of somebody else that was in Bali. How was Greece?
It was amazing, man. Like I had been dying to go there. I had been dreaming of going there, and it was everything that I thought it would be. I think we went to Athens, Santorini, and Mykonos. I think my favorite place was Santorini because it was just kind of beautiful and chill and relaxed. And I did not work.
Oh, so you actually took your vacation and you meant it?
I meant it. I said, you know what? I will not do this whole thing that I normally do where I'm like, oh, let me try to fit in a video here or there. I did have some things pre-scheduled, but outside of that, I was like, I want to just enjoy life.
I love that. And I love that for you because you are super hardworking. You're super consistent. So you know what? When you take a break, you deserve to break. So let me ask you then, you went with your boo, but if you single, would you still recommend, island hopping, city hopping like that? Or
Like, where the single people at? All right, where the single
Okay.
people?
Okay. If you are single, I would tell you to go to Mykonos because
Ooh.
that's what a party is. Okay. But I will also say that be careful because the roads are very narrow. My friend got hit by a bus. Not even kidding you. Like the bus like grazes like past him, and it's legit out there. But if you want to party, if you're single, that's the place to go and live it up.
Okay, absolutely. And you know too, Rich, like a lot of people, when you go to different European countries, the first thing they ask, is it okay for Black people to go there? So I'm gonna ask you that same question too.
Yes, I will tell you it is okay for Black people to go there. You know what's funny? And I was saying this when I was there. When we go places, and just like you had to ask that question, I don't know if it's just you or if it's just me, but if you feel like this too, like you kind of subconsciously look for racism because it's so inherent here in the States that we just
Yeah,
have become used to it, right? So
true.
that question is really important. And when we were there, we found ourselves like kind of like subconsciously looking for it and not finding it and feeling like, yo, when we were going out, like there were literally people like women like they were just rolling up trying to like hit on like some of us and take us home and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was really nice. The people were amazing and the service was impeccable everywhere we went.
You making me want to book my ticket right now. You making me...
Go now. So like right now it's like they're kind of like they're heading into the off season, which I think starts in like November 15th, but
Okay,
it jumps back into like the regular season around like maybe April, May.
April, May. You know
Mhm.
what? That would be dope for my birthday in April to go to Greece. That would be dope. That would be dope. Well, let's backtrack a little bit, okay? So you out in Greece, you're doing your thing. You know, your YouTube channel is very successful. But tell us a little bit about Rich. Like, what was it like growing up in Virginia? Like, tell us a little bit about who Rich was coming up.
I grew up in the country. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I grew up in the country, running through the woods, jumping hills and whatnot with my friends and whatnot. Believe it or
Like
not.
Karen Huger.
Yes, it was just like Surrey County. It was honestly not even far from there, to be quite honest with you. But
Okay.
yeah, like I mean, I grew up in like a small town. So for me, when I go back home now, I reflect on like I'm glad I did because I feel like it informs who I am now. So when I'm like reviewing shows, you know what I'm saying? I gravitate to shows from that are based in the South because I understand, you know, Southern values. I understand what some of those experiences are. So I feel like when I'm talking to the audience, I feel like I can relate to the experiences that I'm seeing on the screen because I've been there. I grew up in it.
And you lived it. You lived it, so you get it. So that's you, Kern, Chris Brown, Trey. So a lot of talent comes out of Virginia.
Uh-huh. Yo.
Y'all all light skinned too. I know that's weird, but it was like, look, now I'm thinking because a lot of people I've met from Virginia, they're very light and they even have light eyes. It's weird.
You know what? You're not the first person I've heard say that, and it doesn't occur to me until I really think about it, like you just put it. But I don't know why that is. I mean, the funny thing is, my dad's chocolate. So
Okay.
my mom's like pale light skin, so maybe that's how it was either gonna go one way or the other.
Okay. I got you. Okay. I'm noticing that trend, like, wow, what's going on up there in Virginia? Okay. But so small town country guy. So that means you're really down to earth. You love family, you value those kinds of things. Did you grow up Christian? Were you any other major religion or just more spiritual? What was that like?
I grew up Christian. I think I've kind of grown more spiritual as I've gotten older. But I definitely grew up in the church, was in church every Sunday, was in the choir, was an usher, you know, vacation Bible school every summer. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my life. So even when I went to college, I went to Virginia Tech for undergrad. I was in the gospel choir there as well. So I mean, it was heavily ingrained in who I am. And even up until the point of, I think when I was in grad school, we were still trying to find churches when I went to grad school. And, if you ever, anybody out there has ever been in college and trying to find a church, it's like dating. You know what I'm saying? You gotta weave your way through what is a good church and what's maybe a church that's not for you. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds weird, but every church ain't church.
Every church ain't church. I found myself when I was in college, even going to a couple of churches, and I'm like, I think this is a cult. Let me go ahead and back up out of this. It's a fine line between, oh, we do this and this together, we have all these activities, and oh, you're a cult. Yeah.
Exactly. They want you to do everything with them. And so you do run into that. And it's scary because you're in college. Yes. So you thinking like, I'm going into the church, like this is a place where I can trust. At least I'm still adjusting to these strangers out here, but like the church is someplace you feel like I'm gonna feel comfortable. And you understand like, y'all want all my time. You want me to live there? No.
It's too much. It's too much. Okay, so you went to Virginia Tech. What did you get your degree in?
I studied journalism and mass communications there. And then I went to grad school at Michigan State and I studied advertising and public relations.
Okay, so then once you got your postgraduate degree, is that when you decided to go out to LA after that?
No, I actually moved to Richmond, Virginia. Then I moved to like Washington, D.C. I was in D.C. for a little while, which is where I am now. DC is kind of like home. I felt like I fell in love here, with the area. Something about being in DC, working in DC. It's something about the upward mobility of like Black people, and you surrounded by Black people, and obviously all types of people, but just the level of success that I was able to see for Black people here is something that I ended up looking for when I went to LA, and it's very different, right? So what I learned here, and I think it's always been ingrained in me, but what was re-emphasized and reinforced here was like, yo, like you gotta work, right? Like, and that's what I do. Like, I feel like I'm a worker, right? Yeah. So I was working a 9 to 5, but I was DJing on the side. So that took me to LA, to be honest with you, because I felt like I need to go out to LA. I want to DJ in like the clubs in Vegas. Like that was my dream at the time when I moved. Oh, wow. And then I fell into hosting when I was in LA. But I had done like radio and TV stuff while I was here in DC before. But I think growing up, I knew I wanted to be like a host on Entertainment Tonight or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then I just you go to college sometimes and then you see like, oh, well, I don't know what that's paying. And you fall into these other little aspects of what you went to school for. And that was kind of me at that point in time. And it wasn't until I got to LA that I started to really put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, I can really make a living doing what I want to do.
And I tell people, especially with the invention of social media, whatever you want to do, I promise you there's a lane for it. Like the way to get there may be a little bit unconventional. Because when we can use each other as an example, when we were in college, if we would have said, okay, X amount of years from now, we're going to be on YouTube and this is going to be like what we do.
Oh, listen, I got to tell you the truth. So when you go to like, or at least when you're in college, I know for me, and then when you go to like LA or something like that, they are looking for you to be on TV. Like that's the goal. You're thinking, I gotta get to TV. TV is where it's at. Whether it's, it started to become like this whole streaming thing a little like as I was kind of like really getting in there. But it was like the goal, even if you were doing something that was streaming, was really to be on like cable, network, television, right? We see where cable is right now, right? But the thing about it is, I kind of like you. I was like, YouTube, what? Like. No, I mean, because again, it's just ingrained in you, especially when you go to school for it. You know what I'm saying? You get out there, that's what people are looking for. And I wish that I had known then what I know now, because I wasted a lot of time, okay? A lot of time with a lot of production companies that don't pay.
Can we tell these people, the people that watch, and I've only had my pinky toe. You've been deeper with the production companies than me, but even just some stuff that's been presented to me, I'm like, hell no. You want me to leave my house, be on set all day, might get my ass whooped on some of these reality shows for how much? No. Can we tell these people just because you're on TV, it does not mean you're making a lot of money?
No, okay, no, especially for a first season, and I can just tell you from my own experience, right? But like a first season on a reality TV show is not going to pay you that much, and actually, you would do better getting a lawyer, because at the end of the day, what I think a lot of people do that first season is they get a contract, and I'll say this here. I probably shouldn't say it, but what I did was at the time was I saw what was being offered, and I was like, wait, you're gonna have an entire month of mine where I really can't do anything else. I still have to work. So
Yep.
I'm living a double life at this point, because you're working and you're filming and you still got to do all of these other things. So I was like, I did ask for more than I think that they were expecting to pay. But it worked out for me. But what I know now is I should have asked for more. And a lawyer would have told me that.
An attorney would have told you that. Let me say this too. People talk a lot of stuff about Kris Jenner, but one thing about her, she advocates for her kids. Like, yeah. I know for a fact she of a speaking engagement she got when she was really a nobody, and she got $25K to do a speaking engagement, and I'm like, but we're also dealing with racism too, because we're kind of taught to lower ourselves, just be thankful to be in the room, don't ask for too much, don't do too much. But
there's a lot of that.
It's a whole new day. You got to pay me what I'm worth.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank.
I mean, but the thing about it is, like, we know it now, right? Because you go through some things and you see things and you experience things, and sometimes I always wish I had somebody to tell me, like, oh, this is what you should do in this moment. But at the time, you're just like, I'm not going to say it's like they're trying to take advantage of you, but what I will say is that they're a business, and so if a business only has to pay X amount for talent, then that's what they're going to do. And that's just the name of the game, right? They're trying to save money and they're trying to put money elsewhere, right?
Yes.
So what you have to do is you have to treat yourself like a business, and you have to go in and you have to think about yourself. Okay, business to business. What makes sense for me? Because so often we'll get on these shows and we're just happy to be there, right? Not realizing that, oh, I'm bringing something valuable to the table too.
Yes. Yes, we are the talent. Without us, there is no business. Ain't nobody trying to watch no executive. They want to watch the people. So that's why they say it's the entertainment business, not just entertainment. But I love that you spoke on that, because every day I'm sure you get emails just like me. I want to do YouTube. I want to do this. I want to do that. Or do you think I should go this route or that route? And I tell people, just be yourself. And nowadays, create a lane for yourself, and the doors will open for you. They really will.
That is probably the best piece of advice you could ever give to someone, because so often you will think that I need to do what this person is doing or what that person is doing. And you will get so much further in life just by being yourself and doing what feels good to you.
Yes.
Period.
Point blank, period. Okay. So I got another question for you, Rich.
Okay.
Just something that people want to know. And if you're not comfortable, we can move on.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. All right. It's pre-recorded for a reason.
Okay.
Would you be open to sharing like what your coming out experience was like?
Absolutely.
Okay. What was that like?
So I told you that I grew up in a pretty religious household. And so you hear a lot of times in the Black church, they'll say offhand stuff about, people that are gay, and I've been called like literally every name in the book when I was in like middle school and stuff like that. So it always made you feel like, okay, I can never share what I'm feeling on the inside. And it wasn't until maybe like late in high school when I started to really explore that, right? And so when I got to college, instead of telling people that I had a boyfriend, I had to tell people that I had a girlfriend because I was in a relationship. But I didn't know how to express that. But I say this to say to people that it is very hard to live a lie, okay? Because you have to remember the lie. You have to remember every lie that you tell. But you feel like so marginalized that you shrink yourself to the point where you feel like you have to present yourself as a different person. So it wasn't until I got to grad school that I just had a realization. It was literally after, like, I can't even remember what happened that triggered it, but it was like something triggered it. I thought when I was in college, this is a whole nother story, Storm. I thought that the place I was living in was haunted, but that's a whole story for another day. I know that's not what you was expecting this to go, but that was a trigger, right? Because what it did was, I think it just sent me into this downward spiral of depression and just kind of forcing me to think about who I was as a person and what I wanted from my life. And I just knew at that point, I just didn't want to be, I didn't want to live the way that I was living, in terms of like keeping how I felt to myself, in terms of trying to talk to somebody, but like not telling my friends and whatnot. And so literally, I gotta say this too. It was my friend Bendia, she's from India, and my friend Karen. It's always been women of color in my life that have, I felt like, nurtured me and made me feel like it was okay to just be me. And from there, you know, I ended up telling my parents maybe like a year or two later. My mom kind of struggled with it at first, but my dad was just like, I mean, you know, you're my son, I love you, so it is what it is. And so it really kind of just spiraled from there. I just became more comfortable with it. And, you know, I think, again, too, it goes back to what you said. Being who I was opened up doors for me that I never believed would open. I had to talk about it on the show that I was on Bravo. They really wanted to dive into that. They wanted me to have a discussion with my mom about it, but when they threw it at me, we were on a Skype conversation.
Okay.
And they're texting me on my phone some of the questions to ask as I'm talking to my mom, and they're filming, right? So I'm okay with that because I understand the mechanics of TV, wherein they want something from a scene, right?
That's messy though.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I will say this. I understood it because I knew that they wanted a great story.
Okay.
It angered me because I'm not going to surprise my mom with that discussion on television, for her to have a negative reaction, then for people to judge my mom, because I am the person that's on the show. So
exactly.
I picked up the Storm. I will never forget this. I picked up the phone. I threw it across the room at that point because I needed to let them know that's not going to happen. We're not going to do that to my mom. And I already told, and I felt like I'd already said that. So in that moment, I kind of had, you know, one of those little reality meltdowns or whatever that you see people have, but you never know why they had it. But, you know, it wasn't shown later. They ended up cutting it out because they reframed my story, because I also had to let them know I didn't appreciate it. So
yeah, that was messed up. Yeah,
it was messed up. But again, I felt like I also understood it because, especially now when I'm watching these shows, it better informs why certain cast members may make certain decisions or say certain things when they're not necessarily really. You could tell sometimes a person, you didn't feel comfortable saying that. You didn't feel comfortable bringing up that sore subject for this other person, but you knew that somebody had to do it.
Yep.
To make the story progress. So it's crazy how my coming out became a part of that journey. But yeah, I mean, at this point now, I feel like I just kind of live as who I am, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. And let's keep it real, Rich, too. The ladies love you too. I be reading those comments. Boy, they They love him so rich. They be like, "Oh my god, he's so fun. Oh my god, oh my god." And listen, I remember even when you gave me that birthday message a while back. Got so many messages. Oh my god, Rich, he is so cute. What's his story? I'm like, if you don't go over to that man's page and ask him his business, don't be asking me to tell you his business. Have you ever had a girl try to like turn you?
That happened in Greece. This girl literally just, I mean, she just rolled up out of the blue. Like, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like because like I'm tall and some of my friends are tall, like they maybe think that we're like basketball players and stuff like that. And so she was just trying to like push up her hardest. Now, you know, if somebody rolls up on me, the first thing I'm saying is not, oh, I'm gay, back up. Because number one, it's flattering at the same time. It's like, okay, you know what? I can respect that. You out here, you on vacation, you trying to get it. But, you know, I just kind of try to like steer the conversation another way or steer them towards somebody in the party who's not necessarily gay so that they can, you know, get what they need. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I've had it happen quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I can see because, like I said, I read them comments, boy, and they be loving them so rich. They do. They listen. I always tell people, if a person is good looking, it don't matter what their orientation
That's
is.
what it is. That's what it is. I mean, universally, that's just people in general. We could tell when somebody's an attractive person, and attractive people are attracted to attractive people. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. So moving along from that, okay. So you're doing your thing in LA. You do the production with the show with Bravo, Stripped, where literally you get stripped down to nothing.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to know: what led you into doing YouTube? Like, what was the catalyst that was just like, okay, I gotta make this work? Like, what happened?
Two things. So one, before I left LA, I worked at AfterBuzz TV. So it was like it was run by Maria Menounos and her husband Kevin Undergaro, who I consider like a mentor, right? So
wait, you talking about Maria from E News?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the lady that she left E when Juliana Rancic came back, right?
Yeah, and she ended up having like a brain situation happen. She had to have surgery, and you know, a lot of stuff happened. But she's still doing, you know, working in the entertainment industry. She does a lot of stuff for like the movies, and you'll see her a lot before movies come on, talking and stuff like that. So, gotcha. Yeah, so I ended up working there under them, and what we would do is after shows. So we would kind of recap shows that came on, like Housewives, Potomac, Atlanta, all the Housewives shows. I did a lot of those shows while I was there. So not thinking at that point that I could do that on my own, but those shows are on YouTube, right? So I already had, when I came onto YouTube, I did have people that kind of remembered me from there. But when I moved from LA, I actually got a gig in Miami on a news show, right? Okay. So what happened is, and listen, I should have got a contract. That's one thing that I want to tell people. Like, if you ever decide to go into like news, get a contract that stipulates a certain amount of time, or if the time runs out, that you get a certain amount at the end of that, right? They offered to negotiate my contract at AfterBuzz TV, but I was like, oh no, I'll do it myself. This is another one of those situations where I'm like, oh, I'm just happy to get this gig.
Gotcha.
So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for anybody that's ever thinking about, you know, going into news or whatnot. But anyway, so I say all that to say the show ends up moving to Orlando, right? We were told, me and my co-host, she was actually on the Real Housewives of Miami season 2. So me and my co-host, we went into work on a Friday, did the show, and then they called us into the green room after and told us that was our last day and handed us our paychecks. So I said,
damn, okay.
Storm, let me tell you, we were like, we just looked at each other, and the funny thing is she just texted me today. But it was so wild, Storm. So you're kind of like, okay, what do I do now, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when that happened, I had previously interviewed Funky Dineva, right? And at that point, we had kind of started to hang out. Like he became integrated into like our little social circle in Miami. And at this point, he's like a brother to me. But at that point, he was just like, you know what? You should just do what you do on YouTube or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm only really interested in reality TV. But the first thing I did was like maybe like a blog or something like that on what it was like, working in news and stuff like that. And I was like, this ain't it. And I remember there was a thing that Portia had released some text messages that Nene had sent to her.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Yeah. Oh, this is juicy. Let me talk about that real quick. So it was a Friday night storm. I tell you, that was the worst video I've ever done. Okay. Literally set the phone up for a long time. Nobody knew this, but I was using my phone to do all my videos. Right. So I said, let me do this video, uploaded it, went to dinner, didn't think nothing else of it. I'm expecting maybe like 100 views or something like that. And I'm looking at my phone. I'm seeing like, okay, it's at 1,000. It's at 2,000. It's at 3,000. Wait, I was like, that feeling. So when that first video starts to like hit and you ain't never seen it before, I was like,
yes.
Oh, okay. So from there, my channel got monetized, I think, within like a couple of days after like the next week, right? Okay. And so I will tell you, once I saw what that did in terms of financially, I looked at what I made when I was working in the news, and I looked at what I made just doing a YouTube video. I said, I'm gonna catch y'all.
We'll see y'all later. Let me go run this bag up.
Okay.
But I get it, because you were. I guess the universe was like, guess what? This is your destiny, so we're gonna. There you go. But that's what I'm personally so thankful to YouTube for, is because we can create our own lanes, our own legacies. We don't have to wait on a paycheck, or you come into work and somebody's firing you, and you're like,
But you know what, Storm? Those being on YouTube is something that I have found actually has done more for me than. Don't get me wrong; those experiences taught me a lot. I learned a lot, right? But being on YouTube taught me that I don't need those other entities for anything. And what it has done is now some of those entities that I had never worked with reach out to me. So I have to be thankful. And also too, like I sometimes have to pinch myself, because I'm thinking to myself, do people know like we get to talk to thousands of people? We get to talk to thousands of people like every day who want to hear what we have to say, who are interested, who are fired up, who are passionate about the same things that we are. Like, that's huge. That's huge. I never would have got that just working at a news station. I mean, and there's no shade to anybody that does, because maybe it's worked for a long time, right?
But it's true.
The YouTube community is like, it's something else.
It is. It's different. And I love it. We love what we do. I remember like going from radio station to radio station trying to get a job, and it's just like it was so difficult, or trying to get the you need a degree in journalism. Oh, well, you need this. Well, actually, no, you need it. And then it's and this is how I knew I wasn't gonna be able to be no broadcaster per se, right? When they said, we just love you. That's how they always start with me. We just love you, but we're gonna need you to shave your face. And I was like, no.
Listen,
I know what I look like up under this. I was like, so no.
Do you know that when I was in LA, I had and this was a Black executive tell me this. He was like, you are never going to be hired in news because with that beard, you look like a terrorist. I kid you not. I was in a meeting. I will never forget that. And so for me, it has always been, I come with a lot, right? I got piercings, I got tattoos, I got my beard that I ain't ever shaving, okay?
Ever.
Ever. And actually, I keep getting these tattoos on my neck because for me, it's a reminder that I never want to go back into like traditional, like broadcasting ever again. So, like, either you take me like this,
or you don't take me at all.
well, you don't take me at all. But it also helps me not lower my standards to just try to get in the door anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear you because it's just and it's amazing how one person can say, "Oh, you are never because of what you come with," and then lo and behold, you're probably doing better than them.
But the thing about it was, you know what I did? I actually shaved it down.
You did. Okay.
I left that meeting and I shaved it down. And I hate how I look, okay? With like because I've always had a beard of some sort in some way, shape, or form. So it's just not me. This is what I like. This is my look. This is what I'm comfortable with. And so I was angry that I did that because somebody told me that I wasn't going to go X, Y, and Z places. And then that somebody was black too. Because a lot of times you're made to feel like it's only so many black people that could be on the same news show or station or whatever like that, unless it's something urban. But you come to DC and I could be on Good Day DC and it's like a whole row of people of color. And it's really nice. They embrace it.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with your beard. You do not look like like that was racist on so many levels.
I have had some crazy experiences, but when somebody is talking to you like that and they're in a position of power, I mean, and you're coming to them for advice, it's like, what do you do? Like, you don't know at the time. All you know is, okay, am I going to take this in and run with it? I had somebody tell me that, I think it was, I'm not going to say the talent agency because I mean, I don't know where God may have me end up. But it was a talent agency, and the rep there told me that they wouldn't put me in any news shows because I had done reality TV. And I was like, okay. At that point, I was like, whatever. I'm gonna keep on pushing because I know that there's something out there for me.
Yes.
And reality is not gonna stop that.
Not at all. And now they all trying to get. That's why I say you just do you stay your path, you'll be fine. Because now all the girls are getting on reality. You know why? Because that's where the job's at. I'm just saying that's where the job's at.
It opens the door.
It opens the door. And listen, you got to do what you got to do. I'll share with you one thing I've been told, right? And I think it's true, even like in the YouTube space. So I was told, well, we can't really use you because we just don't really get you. Like we can't put you in a box. So it was like, okay, well, are you gay or are you straight? Okay, well, sometimes you dress this way and sometimes you dress that way. Sometimes you speak like this. Sometimes you talk a little too white. Then sometimes you talk a little too ghetto. Like they can't put you. Yeah, I was literally told I was not. The words that were used was not dark enough / black enough. They don't mean skin complexion. I know what that means, but
I feel you.
Yeah,
that's interesting to me. But I also think that tells you, in my opinion, that that's not a space that you want to be in anyway.
True.
You want to show up as your full self, and your full self cannot be contained within this one box. Period. And then that also leads me to believe that you wouldn't have been happy there anyway, because if you would have been, you can't be put into a box.
I can't. And I ain't even gonna tell people the network. I think they can probably guess it, but let's just say I'm so glad I have nothing to do with that network. It wouldn't have been for me. The way they be fighting, I'm good. Do you hear me? Woo! I'm just like, listen, I grew up around some fighters, but then the stuff I didn't see on this network, I'm like, I feel like it's Jerry Springer in 1993 all over again.
Ooh, what a time. But I will say I grew up in the neighborhood fighting. hard to believe. But I'm not fighting now.
Thank you.
I'm not fighting now. I'm not. That's not. And I feel like at this point, I mean, everybody has a path and everybody has a direction, and if that's the path that you choose to go down, I feel like that's where you're supposed to go, right? But I also feel like I'm always cognizant now more than ever. I think that, you know, the eyes that are on me in this time in my life, it requires me to move in a specific way that also meets my own personal standards for what I see for myself, right? And I think that's important to also note. There are, and just like you said, I mean, even though they couldn't put you in a box, they had seen you. You know what I'm saying? They were watching you. So anybody that's out there, you know, who wants to get into this space, just know that even though you think that it could just be your audience, but even your audience is watching. They're seeing that, they're watching how you move. This is how they become informed about who you are, is in how and what moves you make and how you handle situations. And so for me, I feel like, what would I look like fighting somebody at this point? How could I then come back to my audience and then, you know, share these other stories or talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just wouldn't work, right? So that's probably a blessing that you.
It is a blessing. Look, rejection is truly God's protection. Because,
amen.
I was just like, what? And then they were like, well, you sound like this YouTuber, and you kind of sound like that YouTuber, and where are you from? And what is his accent? Like, it was just like, look, I'm just not a good fit. And then they go, well, you can change the way, and I'm not changing nothing. We good.
You know what's funny about reality TV? That I will tell you that I also learned is you can go into reality TV trying to present a specific type of image. The longer you are on it, the more the real you will begin to creep out.
Yep.
And so it is best to go in just being your complete and authentic self, because the camera will capture the real you regardless.
It will, because you're going to forget that camera there and something's going to happen.
You do. You forget that it's there. I'm not even lying. You think, how can I forget? Because there's a huge, but when you are in the moment, and reality TV heightens everything. Yeah. So things that may not have bothered you before will end up bothering you because the process is so long and exhausting. And you know that you got people like looking directly at you. So things that you might not normally do, all the things that you would never do, that you said you would never do, you will do. Try you might, but you're gonna end up doing it.
But you're gonna end up doing it. Listen, that's why it's like, just be yourself, and then you ain't got to worry about that.
There you go.
Point blank. So, okay, let me throw some rapid fire questions at you. Okay,
let's go.
All right. Number one, do you know how many tattoos you have?
No.
Okay, what is your favorite tattoo?
My favorite tattoo. That's interesting. That's a good one. Right now, I think it's these. I think it's these crosses right here.
Oh, that's fly.
Yeah, I think right now it's those. That could change later.
Okay. Oh, that's fly. You was able to sit through that?
Yeah. Like, you know what? I wasn't like these right here. Like this. Yes. That stuff. No, I would not listen. No.
Not for the faint of heart. I know. I feel you. Okay, so that's your favorite right now. Okay. Would you ever get your partner's name tattooed on you?
At this point, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because I feel like I'm committed for the rest of my life. I'm not going nowhere. It don't matter. Like, you better you become unhappy, you better suck it up. That's how I look at it. You know, Storm, I like what I like. I've always been that type of person. And when I find something I like, I can never get enough of it.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I've always been like that.
Okay. All right. The man said he likes what he likes. So speaking of that, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, that is good. Right now, it's this bolognese from this place here in DC. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want none of y'all to go there. Okay, and end up crowding the place out. But like, it's this like bolognese. I've never had anything like it before. And so I end up going there like once a week at this point.
Okay. Bolognese. Okay.
I like what I like.
You like what you like. Favorite movie?
Oh, this is embarrassing.
No, tell her. Don't say it's like you'll say it's like Finding Nemo or something.
Nah, Clueless.
What's wrong with that? That's
you know, it's just it's I love those 90s movies, those 90s like high school movies. To me, they're just like they don't make movies like that no more.
They do not. They do not. And I ain't gonna lie. I had always thought, oh, this is what high school was gonna be like. It was not like that.
It was not.
Favorite TV show outside of reality?
Favorite TV show outside of reality? That's a good one. Is it just like right now or like like universally?
Oh, it can be ever. Yeah, in general. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say right now, and I feel like because generally it could change, but like right now it's The Equalizer with Queen Latifah.
Really? Okay.
I cannot get enough of that show. I love it. There's something about it that I like crime shows. So, you know, when I'm not, to be quite honest with you, watching reality TV right now is a job at this point. So I don't watch it for enjoyment anymore. Like I enjoy some like the episodes,
right?
But I don't just be watching it now just to like on my downtime. On my downtime, like I like to watch like Law and Order SVU, Murder She Wrote. Yes, I am like those types of shows.
Okay. Those are actually good shows. Those I ain't gonna lie, those are good shows. Okay. Now, are you a person that likes your house hot or cold?
Cold.
Wow. Okay. What's your temperature?
70.
That's not too bad.
Ideally, it stays at 70 because I feel like any colder than that, and it's like I'm too cold. I like to be able to run around in this.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay. Left side of the bed or right side of the bed?
Left side of the bed.
TV on or TV off when you sleep?
TV on.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, so it's TV on, slightly, the volume got to be slightly down. But you know, what I do is I close my eyes and I'm listening, which is it's kind of weird. I do this weird thing where I just kind of listen to the TV and then I just drift off to sleep.
Okay.
But I also have a little noise machine playing too. So like I got a lot of things going on at nighttime.
I love that. It's nice to know somebody else is like me because it's like I will literally put on the Golden Girls and fall asleep. And I'm pretty sure I've slept to every episode at this point. Favorite genre of music?
Dance hall.
Wow. So you be out here winding your hips?
Huh?
You be out here winding your hips?
Yes, like dance hall, like soca, anything Caribbean. We play Afro beats like nonstop here in the house. Nonstop. It's crazy. Like I don't listen to anything that's on the radio. That's why I stopped DJing because I really wasn't interested in the music that was coming out anymore. So, and for me, when I was DJing, I like to play a lot of like dance hall, reggae, go-go, Baltimore house, stuff that's not technically on the radio, but it's that makes people move. And I felt like people weren't really trying to dance anymore. Like they just wanted to hear like, I don't know. I don't even know what's out right now. So I couldn't tell you.
It's garbage. But you know what I noticed? Like even when I came to DC, by the way, I have forgot that you live there. So I was like, I should have hit him up.
Won't be forgetting.
My bad. But even when I went to DC, I was like, yeah, it's a lot of go-go everywhere, like Afrobeat stuff everywhere. But I got a little intimidated because like I can't keep up with the dancing.
See, Storm, like no.
I can't keep up with it.
We got to get you to a good. You know what we got to do? We got to get you to a good starter carnival, right? We go on down and hit up a Miami carnival, right? It's coming up in a like maybe this weekend or next weekend. So I'm telling you, that will get you in the zone, and then we're gonna graduate you to a different level of carnival, and one that I ain't even went to yet. So I feel like starting off with like a carnival, because there's no expectation that you're gonna get the movements right, but it don't matter because you're just in the zone.
Okay, I just don't be wanting to look like a fool, because even my first time in Miami, I told the story. I seen this Jamaica, some kind of Caribbean couple dancing at the club, and I was like, wow, I was just like, where the hell am I?
Okay, so do you drink?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, I feel like when you get when you have a drink or something like that, it doesn't get you a little loose to the point where you don't care.
But then if I tip, it's that tipping point, and then I'm twerking on the table. So I gotta find a happy medium, because after that, if Anaconda by Nicki come on, WAP come on, then all of a sudden I can do every dance move, and I'm flexible as hell.
See, that's when you add it, because you're not thinking about it. So that's the thing about dancing. You just can't. You gotta dance like nobody's watching. I know that sounds cliche, but really you do. That's what I do.
Okay. So Richie not up on the wall. He ain't holding up the wall. He's out on the floor.
Yeah, I'm usually on the floor.
Okay. I'm gonna take your advice. Are you a cologne guy or no?
Yes, I am.
Favorite cologne?
I love. Right now, I'm wearing Jo Malone. I think it's a blackberry fragrance, but there's a myrrh and tonka that I love. And the great thing about Jo Malone is you can kind of layer them and stack them on top of each other, so like you can mix and match different types of flavors. There's another one that they discontinued. It's called English Oak and Red Currant. I've been searching for it everywhere, but I can't find it. And people love that fragrance. So yes. Long story short, yes.
Okay. All right. Tissue roll over or under?
It should be under. It should be under, so you can pull it out from under.
Listen, some people are over. That's why I ask. Some people get like real specific about it.
But hold on, let me just say this. I don't even like tissue. Like TMI, but I feel like wipes are the way to go. That is just a better option, I think, in general.
I agree. Even I don't know if you've seen that TikTok or that reel where it says when you like walk down the steps and this like you be fresh and you be like, I feel like a baby. Like, yes. Oh my God, ain't nothing like it. Like people, let me tell you something. People out here that don't wash their ass after they do what you wild. Like you
listen, like, just remember back before wipes was a thing. Like, I can't even remember. I can't imagine living like that right now. And this is no disrespect for people that don't use wipes, but I'm just like, you will feel so much cleaner when you do.
So much cleaner. It's worth the money. It is worth it. Okay. Are you a toothpaste or tooth powder kind of a guy?
I've never actually had tooth powder, so toothpaste.
Okay. I know everybody's going to be like, these are some weird ass questions, but this is how you get to know. This is how you like get to know like your person. Do you eat at the table or in front of the TV?
In front of the TV. I feel like we should be eating at the table, but I just feel like let's multitask. We can eat dinner and watch TV at the same time.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Yeah. So last quick round question. Okay. Are you the driver or are you the passenger princess?
Why you gotta add the princess on the end of it though? Like
that's what it's called. That's what it's called though.
What it's called?
Yes, that's what it's called.
I don't believe it. I'm the passenger princess, okay? That's me.
Okay. Listen, ain't no wrong with it.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I ended up. I think it's because he likes to be in control of the driving situation. If he's not, then he's gonna be like, micromanaging my driving. So it's probably just best that he just drive.
And you know what? Now it's like, now you got to take me everywhere. Now you my chauffeur. Boom, get in there, Uber driver, and drive me. I love, but you know what? Like you just said, he probably loves it because he's at ease. So
he does. He is much more at ease being in the driver's seat, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This works.
Oh my God! Now I want to. Okay, we got a little more time. I want to dig a little deeper. Are you the person to? Do you like to, like, when you get mad? Do you like to deal with the situation right away, or walk away and cool off and come back?
I want to deal with it right away. I do not like. I don't mind confrontation in terms of, like, I feel like I can be mad at you and have a very direct conversation and never raise my voice.
Okay.
But I expect the same. Because the moment you start yelling at me, I'm walking away. I can't process yelling. And you cannot curse at me either. Okay. If you curse at me, it's a wrap. So if the conversation can be calm, then I can be mad at you and have a calm conversation. I might need like a little cooling off period afterwards, like, just get me like to a bathtub or like go to the gym or something like that. But yeah, like, let's deal with it now. I'm not trying to, like, don't come to me 2 weeks later because I didn't forgot what it was.
Let it go at that point. You
okay, like it didn't happen. Okay.
And you know what? I'm glad that you're talking about that, because I feel like we see so many toxic relationships where you're almost like seen as like a punk if you don't want a relationship where you're getting cussed out and stuff thrown at you. And it's like, you don't have to talk to me that way. And listen, there's a time and a space when you may lose it or you may yell. We're human. I get it. Mm-hmm. But let it be for a reason, not just like you wake up cussing me out. Because if I cuss you out, I know you ain't going to like it. And Rich, you seen the way my mouth is set up. You know. That ain't gonna end well. So, I love that though. Healthy relationships. So I guess I'll wrap this up first by saying thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me. I mean, I want to say this too. It's been a joy watching you grow. I know that you have gone through things, but I feel like as I watch you, I feel like God has a purpose for everything that you have experienced, that you're gonna experience, because I feel like it's just gonna catapult you even higher than where you are now, or even where you think you are gonna be. So it's my pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here and to be able to talk with another creator that I respect. So I just want to say that to you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because it's been a rough 9 months. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought I was gonna have to get up out of town real quick.
But you know what's funny? I saw you talk about, and it's not often that I see a lot of my other, I would say, like, contemporaries who kind of talk about some of the same things, and I do it so that I try to not watch a lot of other people, because I don't ever want to feel like, oh, well, they talked about this, so I got to talk about it. I kind of like to stay in my own zone and talk about whatever just moves me, right? But I don't know what happened. I came across a video where you were talking about going to therapy, and I just thought to myself, like, yo, like, I love that you have those conversations with the audience, because it really peels back this layer of, like, it just you allow them in a way that I feel like is just, I think, really genuine, and you're very honest with them about the things that you experience. And so I just wanted to tell you that I really respect that about you. And I also just wanted to pour into you, because I feel like when we do that with our peers and our contemporaries, when we show them love and when we show them admiration and respect, I just feel like it just helps us all in this space to know that, hey, there's somebody else out there that sees that I'm working and I'm trying to do, that I'm out here hustling, because I know it's not easy.
It's not. It's not for sure. But I'm glad you brought that up though, because it's weird. So apparently, like, if you ask my audience, like last year, they would say I came off guarded, I guess you could say, which I wasn't really aware of that. I'm just coming and doing a job. But I guess the more I let them in, the feedback I'm getting now is, oh, I see you as human. I'm like, I've always been human, but I guess it's just more personal. I don't know. I guess I still got to work on that in therapy to get, the deep emotional. Like, I don't do that kind of stuff normally. You know
what it is though? It's because I am an emotional person, right? So like, I'm a Cancer, so like everything to me is like, I feel everything. Although my friends would tell you that they don't feel like I'm emotional at all, but internally I feel like I am, right? So, for me, it's very easy to express how I'm feeling. And it's also very easy to have this conversation with you right now, because I want to, just as much as I possibly can, to as many other creators as I can, say what you do is important, it's respected, and I see what you're doing, and I see how you're moving, and I see that the audience also feels it too. So I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate that. You damn Cancers. I know another damn Cancer. so emo, and see, and I'm like super logical. So I'd be like,
see, that's a good balance right there. That's how you create balance in this life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to have that emotional center, and somebody's got to have that logical center. So it works.
It works. That's true. I appreciate that. But to wrap up, I guess my last question is going to be, where do you see yourself in like 10 years? Where do you see yourself? Do you see kids? Do you see production companies? Like, you going to start making movies? I don't know. What does Rich want to do?
A lot less. I can tell you that. I don't want to work as much in 10 years. I don't even want to work as much in 2 or 3. But I think for me, the next phase will be more behind the scenes stuff, like you said, like production, having my hands in something in the production realm, because I'm really passionate about that. As well as like, I want a lot of books. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love writing. I love creating stories, and I want to work with co-writers. You know what I'm saying? Because I want the empire to grow further than it could if I was just writing all the books myself. So those are things that I'm actively working on right now to set myself up so that I don't have to work as hard. Because like right now, I don't know if you feel it sometimes, but like there's sometimes like it's an endless cycle of news and shows. Yes. And sometimes I know if you're like me, by the end of the week, you just be like it doesn't stop. It feels like a train that you're on sometimes. And so it would be nice to just kind of be able to say, I'm going to scale back a little bit. I'm only going to do recaps, because that's where I find the most joy, because I can talk to the audience.
Exactly.
I can have a conversation with them. So that's kind of where I'm headed, I think. And also doing stuff on my personal channel, just like in the travel space, because I like showing people like some of the places that, because I love watching travel vlogs. So
I do too.
I know if I like it, somebody else is going to like it too. So if I can see something that somebody else may want to do, then let me share it, and let me tell you where I went when I went there, and what to expect, and how to avoid getting hit by a bus in Mykonos. You know what I'm saying? Those are the types of things I do. So that's kind of where I see myself. And kids, yeah, I would love to, but I think I want to be able to slow down before I get to that point. So that's going to have to happen soon.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. And I'm with you with the travel space thing, because I ain't gonna lie, I like being in control. But if a production company want to pay me to go around the world and interview different spiritual things and investigate alien sightings. Sign me up.
Listen,
Sign
I
me
will
up.
watch that too because you give me anything with an alien and I'm in it. Okay.
I'm in it. Perfect. Well, Rich, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It has been that little hour flew by. Like it flew by.
It did.
You can let the people know where to find you, and other than that, we're gonna get out of here.
All right. You guys can follow me at everything at DJ Richie Skye. And if you happen to be watching Fox 5 in DC, I'm sometimes on there commentating on reality TV news, pop culture news, and most recently, sometimes on MSNBC. Hopefully they, ask me back. That's always the goal.
Yes.
Outside of that, just stay tuned to YouTube.
Stay tuned to YouTube. Thank you, man. You enjoy your day, all right?
All right, you too.
Take it easy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty.
Okay, so that was the interview with DJ Richie Skye. I have to thank him once again for coming to join me on the show and taking like an hour out of his very busy day to come and chat with me and let us get in his business. Let me know, how did y'all like it? I enjoyed it. That's our first episode of YouTubers Unfiltered. I enjoyed it, damn it. I enjoyed it. I really did. It was a dope conversation. He was a great interviewee. But I guess since we interview people, we know to actually let the person ask the questions. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. He was a pleasure. Got the Sky Squad in here. DJ Richie Skye said, thank you for having me, and thanks to all for being so welcoming. I appreciate the opportunity. No problem, dude. No problem. We got to do it again sometime. Let's see. Awesome interviews, Zavia said. Y'all love it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys did. And listen, and I want to start giving you guys content that is like not always messy. We can have a good time and have a great conversation without having to like be scandalous. So I like it was dope. It was dope. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to reach out, because his team didn't have to say yes, but they said yes. So hey, let's see. Lachey T said that was good to watch. I only caught the end. I have to rewatch it. Cool. Yeah, hit that replay. It was definitely a good conversation. So most people liked it. Okay, dope. So I'll do like 3 more minutes and then I'll end this live. So let me know, like, who else do you guys want to see? Somebody sent me Geo Malak. I hadn't heard of that person, but I did look him up. Who else do y'all have in mind to interview next? Don't you want to like get to know your YouTuber on a deeper basis? You know, don't you want to know the intimate details of their life? Not too much, but I think it's super interesting. Sandy said it was a great conversation. Miss Frazier said y'all brothers look good. I appreciate that. Trey King. Oh, Trey King. Oh my God. That dude is, I ain't watched this stuff in a minute, but I love his show. Said Charleston White. Slim Danger. Okay. Kempire. I've heard of that. I've heard of him. I can't think of where, but I've heard of him. Charleston White. Okay. We've done Cynthia G probably like twice, but you know we gonna bring her back. Absolutely. Sherrill's World, okay. Color Me Pink. Said Morale, we'll reach out again. Tisa Tells. Y'all think Tisa would come on? That would be dope if she would. Corey Holcomb. You know what? Corey Holcomb would be funny and very controversial. You know that's like one of my favorite comedians. I know he into it with my girl right now. I'm staying out of that because they got a history that I didn't know nothing about. Him and Cynthia were going at each other on Twitter way before I was even on the internet. I don't agree with everything you say, but that nigga do be funny though. I don't know if he would come on. I don't know if he would though. It don't hurt to try. Rebecca Pope. Gotcha. Claudia Jordan. Riza Islam. Toxic Diamond. Okay. Justin J. Oh, yeah, that would be dope. Funky Dineva. Y'all think he would? You know, I don't fuck with old girl no more, so hopefully that wouldn't affect that. I would hope not, but I'll still reach out. Said Michelle Brown. Day and Night Network. Oh yeah, they hella cool. Ashley Miller. Damn, that sounds familiar. I can't think of who that is though. Can't think of where I know that name. I think I'm thinking of Ashley Brown. But Ashley Miller, that's fine. Can MC Shaky do interviews from jail? They can. I don't know if he has a phone, but technically, yeah, they can. Ashley says. That's Ashley Brown, right? And her husband, Carrington Brown? I definitely used to watch them a lot before I actually did YouTube. Okay. That's a good start right there. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. T.S. I keep forgetting. Yes, lead attorney. Lead attorney. That would be a fucking key. Like, for real. You said T.S. Madison. Okay. Okay. Ashley says so. Old Hollywood messy. Oh. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you are on my texting list 678-679-6077. And I will catch you guys later.